I'm excited about next year. And I think that a lot of Big 12 fans are hoping that Arizona smokes Oklahoma if it happens, because it would be a nice little send-off. Here's where I'm at with the Big 12s. TCU was just in the national championship game last year. Kansas State is a perennial top 25 team. Kansas, under Lance Leopold, has turned into a top 25 program as well. You've got Utah coming in. They're a top 15 program. You got Arizona coming in. You got Colorado coming in there as well. And Oklahoma State under Mike Gundy, by the way, go Pokes against Texas. That's a top 15 to 20 program as well. The idea that the Big 12 stinks at football is just stupid, Sheer.
I think it's because there's not that one. Like, if you go to every conference, right? The Pac-12 has the Oregon and Washington, the SEC, Bama and Georgia, and so the Big 10, Michigan, Ohio State. The Big 12 doesn't really have that dominant team that's going to be competing for the 4-team playoff every year. And so I think people kind of take that and apply it to the whole conference. The conference wasn't that great this year, I'll admit it, but I think next year it's going to take a major step forward.
It's going to take a big step forward. And again, these are programs that have been somewhat stable, that have, again, to me, Anthony Gimino, what does that guy know? He always says it's all about the coach. And that with Mike Gundy, Oklahoma State's always going to be good as long as Mike Gundy is there. You know, they might have a dip or two, but again, Mike Gundy is always going to have them good. And then obviously Kansas State, you got your dude right there. That's a natural fit. I hope that Chris sticks around. Leopold feels like he's going to be a Kansas guy. Sonny Dykes is solid as well. Like I said, this is and we already talked about who's coming in. It's a solid conference. It's not this thing where you're the Mountain West reincarnated. That bothers me a great deal, Sheer.
Look at you. You're very feisty about this.
Yeah.
I mean, it's look, again, like there's not going to be that dominant holy crap team like the Oklahoma and the Texas. It's not headed there. But if from top to bottom, it's going to be a solid conference. Like, and I know like for instance, Baylor wasn't good, right? Dave Aranda got another year, fired the coordinators, hired Spavital, who's pretty solid. Who knows what they're going to look like? The portal also changes everything. Like, for all we know, the teams that weren't very good in the Big 12 this year go out in the portal, add a bunch of players, and all of a sudden they're good next year. Like, Oklahoma State is really old this year. I mean, like super, like they have guys that are seniors across the board. You know, how do they approach that in the portal? We'll see.
But again, they also have some money. And again, Oklahoma State with Mike Gundy, you generally don't have a lot of bad seasons. So again, I am in on that. And again, the Big 12 is the best basketball conference in the country. It's fun to watch, and these are good teams. Again, Kansas is at the apex of college basketball. We all know that. Then obviously you got Baylor under Scott Drew, your guy who you were wrong about, is also going to, they're always going to be good as well. Houston with Kelvin Sampson coming in. Iowa State has as probably about as good a home court advantage as there is. Granted, Arizona is basically the only basketball school coming in to the Big 12, but they've already added basketball schools as well. Sheer, basketball, sign me up for all of this.
Yeah. Basketball is not even a conversation. Like, it is the best conference in America. It's ridiculous. The only thing I worry about is Arizona fans.
How so? Because they might drop a few more games?
Yeah, Arizona fans are going to have to come to the reality that, like, a good regular season in the Big 12 will be like 7 losses.
Right. And again, but that's the way it is. Wouldn't you much rather be like 29-6 than 35-2 and playing absolutely nobody like Arizona's probably going to do in conference this year?
Yeah, no, I'm all for it. I'm just saying, like, Arizona fans, the whole freak out after every loss thing is going to have to kind of slow down a little bit, because losing at Kansas isn't a bad loss. Losing at Baylor isn't a bad loss. Like, it's not like losing at Washington State or whatever. Like, these teams are really good at home.